Him.
That's right.
That's
It's the
right.
morning
It's the
show
morning
here on
show here on
ABC News
ABC.
Radio KMET 1490 AM. I'm Aaron Michael Sanchez. We've got Mr. Jesse Sanchez in the house as well. No relation. But Jesse, what's going on in the world that we need to know about?
Oh, I'm just in it's a beautiful day. You know what? I recently watched the news last night. I don't watch it too often, but I do enjoy watching car chases. I don't know about you.
Yeah, every now and then. They kind of get on my nerves, not going to lie. But
Dude, cuz it seems like it happens every day and it's so tiring.
yeah, well, and I feel it's a waste of like helicopter gas and and then
That
they
is true.
interrupt everything for you to kind of see like the said person trying to get away. Now, if it were like a Fast and Furious moment, I would be like, okay, that's kind of cool. But then you got people, in harm's way. Sometimes I used to watch them to be like, okay, stay away from this area, stay away from that area. But I don't think that's the story you're going for. So go for it.
No, actually a DUI suspect was taken into custody last night. Yeah, his or oh, my apologies. It was a woman. Her
Whoa.
Tesla vehicle was reportedly on autopilot while she was passed out in the driver's seat.
Oh, that's the Tesla one that came up.
Hmm. I mean,
That's right.
I like the fact that it was driving on its own, but then it's just like, how safe are these things on the road?
Right.
So it's just like, it's really, to me, it's just creepy. I hate the whole self autopilot thing.
Right, right,
That's
right, 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 right. Well, and what you're talking about, I did see late last night as I was kind of like looking at certain things on the internet, and I was like, okay, because I couldn't sleep because I got home late from an event. Um, but having said that, I understand what you're talking about because I saw it and I'm like, well, what does that exactly mean? So I don't really know. I don't have any information on that. But I mean, if you were in a Tesla, would you try to get away from people while sleeping? And I think that was the question, right? She was sleeping or fell asleep possibly during.
well, she was a DUI, so obviously she was drunk, passed out. So
Right. So she thought she could just kind of get away without getting a lift and then get home conveniently, right?
right, I don't know why we have Uber, Lyft, all these options that you can choose from, but yeah, you just still get in the car. I don't
Yeah.
trust machines, so that's just me.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with you. I don't really know the answer to that. I really don't. I will say it does some pretty good stuff, and what I mean by that is the Tesla does some cool things, but I don't know that I would depend on it to get home. Because again, there's no guarantee, and they've said this. I mean, many times, like if there's a situation that happens, and it's not the first time. I'm looking at several news stories with a DUI and a Tesla, and this has like happened for the last couple of months, actually, ever since the Tesla came out. So the question I think is, do they train people on the Tesla on the do's and don'ts, or do they just kind of hand them the keys and go have fun with that? So, which you kind of think, aren't people smart enough to know the difference? I think our listeners are, don't you?
Right? I That's a good question. Like, do they get like schooled on how to operate it properly? Because like I always figured that the function was made for like if you're having like a heart attack or some kind of emergency and you have to have your hands off the wheels,
Yeah,
not to get drunk at a bar or something like that and drive your butt home.
yeah, yeah. I agree with you on that. I really don't know the answer. I'm looking at a title here: 328,000 estimated U.S. accidents a year from sleepy drivers. That makes sense. I got hit by a sleepy driver. She fell asleep at the wheel, and then hit me, and she went careening over the side of the road and like mutilating her car. Her Jeep did not look like a Jeep. It looked like a Corolla bashed up. So it says, how many lives will Tesla full self-driving save? This is an article published April 9th of 2021 saying that the Tesla Model 3 drives automatically if you start to go out of the lane. Now, there's a lot of vehicles that do that, by the way. They kind of adjust you, right? It says it's a nifty little safety feature. There are times when the car will also beep loudly if it thinks you're driving into a dangerous situation. There's subtle warnings and hard shocking alerts can go so far in preventing accidents. Now, that's usually when somebody, and we've all been there, I think, I don't know if you've ever been there where you're kind of drowsy because you didn't sleep good the night before or you didn't get enough sleep whenever. A lot of truck drivers go through this as well. Have you ever been through that?
I honestly, there are times where I do feel sleepy, but you know what? If I'm tired, I'm not on the road. It's dangerous because I can just like close my eyes for a moment and it feels like a second, but it's actually 2 minutes. So I try not to drive when I'm tired.
Right. Right. And I get that. But some people depend on these things so much, they expect it to be literally autonomous, like it's going to take you home safely. And I'm not going to lie, I used to have dreams, I want to say 2 maybe 3 years ago, where I was like in a vehicle and then there was one like that was following me, but it was autonomous, and I always like have this dream that it ends up like hitting somebody by accident or it doesn't see something, right? There's no 100% foolproof with these things, and anybody that thinks that there is, I'm going to tell you right now, you might as well wear a face mask or not wear a face mask, because seriously, like, you're putting yourself in jeopardy, putting yourself behind a vehicle that may or may not see certain objects out of nowhere. They're just not there yet. Now, will they be maybe in about 12 years from now when you have like a certain lane that is set up kind of like, do you remember at Disneyland the movie machine, or what was it called? Like they had certain they were a little like I don't know if you remember this, but it was at Space Mountain, and you got into them, but they all went through one track, or maybe like a Tom Cruise movie where they all kind of like iRobot does that, I think, and then Minority Report does that too.
Oh yes, Minority. They're all on like track. Yeah, okay, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and it's usually like a magnet or a self-inverting road. You'll also see the same thing like in, I think, there's a lot of movies that do that. That would make more sense because then you would have that lane ready for you. But then getting off and then getting near home, I would just trust a Lyft over a self-driving Tesla. Back to this article, it says Tesla full self-driving after advances a bit further in the next 2 3 years won't be perfect. That's important, and will result in more than zero crashes. That's according to this person's perspective. Obviously, it's resulted in more than that. But imagine how many crashes and injuries it will prevent, how many lives it will save simply by taking the driving out of the hands of sleepy drivers. Now, again, having said that, that's not to replace. Like if you drank something, it's not going to make you that much more safer, according to this. It says even without addressing DUI, careless driving and driving while texting, the number of lives Tesla FSD could help just by addressing the problem of sleepy drivers is very high. Now, the Zebra reports more than 40% of drivers admitted they have fallen asleep behind the wheel. Drowsy driving is so dangerous because it mirrors so many symptoms of drunk driving: blurred vision, slowed reaction time, poor decision making. I'm not gonna lie, I've been there. I know to always get either peanuts and or sunflower seeds to keep myself awake. But there's been times where I've traveled very far. I just have to pull over and just take a nap. You don't fight it. And if you just kind of go like that a moment, you need to just pull over to the side, get yourself either a place or just pull over to a safe place and then sleep it off, right? Because, I mean, sometimes long drives, especially by yourself or even with others, usually with others, I have a easier time staying awake, but you just got to be careful with that. So it says here, until robotaxi levels, Tesla should be extra cautious with the systems to make sure drivers remain attentive. But it's saying how, if everybody had a Tesla, I think the question is, would it reduce it? The answer is, I think still out. I think people depend on it way too much. And the fact that this woman did that, obviously, she's probably regretting her decision right about now. But there you go. I don't know enough about this story, but I know this is a common story that we keep hearing about. So don't let yourself be fooled. And I love these Teslas. They have cool gadgets inside, and they're pretty advanced. But it's not, a Jetson car.
Yeah, they have amazing features, but you know what? Until we can actually just jump in the car and say drive home and
Yeah.
it starts driving on its own, yeah, we're not there yet. So there are too many people who have been like jumping in the back seat and letting their car drive itself. And you know how many deaths have been? I think we talked about one last year
Yeah, we
where
did actually.
where
Yeah.
yeah, they were driving like 80 plus miles an hour on autopilot. Everybody was in the back seat, and then they ran into a tree. Yeah, no, thank you.
Yeah, see, and you're right because those are the things that people go, well, isn't that like normal? And you're like, no, it's not normal. What kind of thicky brain did you do? And because those tests are not inexpensive, right? I mean, I'm not saying I have not wanted one. I've wanted one because I've seen them and they're pretty cool. And I've had friends that actually drive around with them, especially the early models. And I'm like, sign me up for one. And I would love to have one ready to go in the event that, I was having a problem with just having a problem driving, right? So my point in saying that is you got to be 100% ready to take over the wheel if for some reason it doesn't see certain things. I know they did a test one time and they did, I think this was in the early stages of the test. I think I want to say 2 years ago. And I guess somebody darted in front of it, but at a lower, like let's imagine a little kid, right? A little kid goes out and like looking for the ball, right? Will it see somebody that low to the surface, right? Under like 3 or 4 feet, right? Like little Molly from what was it? Tiny Toons, ball, and goes after the ball. And then like, what does it see that sad kid at that range, that quick, that fast? Let's say she's like Speedy Gonzalez, and she goes right into the street. Will it avert? Will it have enough time? Does it see that far? There's a lot of questions like that, but you still need to be attentive. It can help you. It's good assistance, but it's not one to end all be all. Although having said that, I have wanted the kind that moves very slowly to get to you in our park, which is like the Batmobile, where it like comes to you no matter where you're at, like you call it, and then it goes from South Park to you. That's a cool feature. But even then, I'm a little like, what if it hits somebody by accident? Because those things hardly make any sound. I think I've
Yeah,
given it too much consideration. I get a little like
it's true. If we
scared.
don't, if we're not the ones who think about this stuff, these things actually happen sometimes. Like
Yeah.
I remember watching on what was it on YouTube or something, people making dumb mistakes. Someone had an automated feature on their what was it? Some type of like sports car, and like it was supposed to like come to the owner or something like that.
Yeah.
The owner was inside a like coffee shop or something, and the car thought that it wanted coffee too, so it decided to go in.
Like, give me a frappuccino. That sounds good.
Right?
Extra
But it's
shots of
funny.
espresso for my lubricants.
It's like these features are so cool, but to be honest, I don't think we're there yet.
No, we're not. And thinking smart people should be the only ones allowed to purchase some of these things. But there you go. Maybe it was given by a friend and they rented it from them. I don't know. Stephanie Reed says, I don't like or trust those self-driving cars. I like old-fashioned cars with my Jeep to get me from point A to B safe, like in that movie that George Clooney is in of Tomorrowland. I did see that, by the way. Great film. If you haven't seen that, go check it out. It's great. A good film for the family, too. Rosalie says, good morning. Good morning, Rosalie. And look, we agree with you. Just use your thinking mind. But sometimes we live in a world where people just don't use that. And it's sad. It's really sad. All right. The latest on COVID. Yes, it is Friday. Thank goodness. But whatever you do, do so safely. Be careful where you go. And then be aware of those around you. And I say that because you just have to constantly be very well aware. You never know when somebody has coronavirus. You don't know if they're going to cough on you. You don't know if they're going to cough on something and then kind of sneeze their, fluids, down your way. Right, Jesse? Jesse, you kind of, you look a little perturbed by that statement.
No, I remember watching in the news a week ago about a woman that was coughing on people in a store.
Mm-hmm.
And so they posted it on TikTok. Eventually, they found out who she was. She was fired. But if someone starts coughing and sneezing and stuff on me, like deliberately, I would freak out and attack them.
Yeah.
It's not that I want to. It's just that I would freak out. My anxiety would go from 0 to 100
Yeah.
in like seconds.
Yeah, I get that. I've had some people like in public kind of start coughing and I think, oh, I'm wearing my face mask, so I'm pretty good. And then it's not that they've got something, it's just like a regular cough. Like I've drank something and I go and I start coughing. I'm like, I'm okay. I don't have coronavirus. It was just a bad, went down the wrong pipe. Or sometimes you just have a mini cough. But everybody's a little bit more cautious. And I say good that you at least wear a face mask than not. That way at least you're in a good positive space with that. Having said that, the U.S. recorded more than 10,100 confirmed COVID-related deaths in 1 week. That's according to federal data. States with some of the highest death tolls are, and I said this about Texas, Georgia, and North Carolina. The U.S. reported more than 1.2 million cases over the last week. This is a major step back in the fight against COVID. In June, the U.S. recorded just 80,000 new cases in 1 week. That's again, over the last week. That's 1 million cases. Now, we said that there was going to be a huge jump after Labor Day, and we're right there with it. Tennessee and West Virginia currently have the country's highest case rate, followed by Alaska, Wyoming, South Carolina, Montana, and Kentucky. Now, thankfully, here in the state of California, we're not as high just yet, but that doesn't mean it wouldn't get higher all of a sudden. We have to be careful, moving ahead very carefully. Pfizer. The FDA's Independent Advisory Committee is now underway to debate Pfizer's booster shots. After a day of Q&A on whether they should use it or not, the vote will be non-binding. The FDA is not required to follow the advisory committee's recommendations. Generally, they do so, but after the vote, the FDA will formally amend their current vaccine approval for Pfizer. Next week, the matter heads to the CDC's independent advisory panel, whose members will weigh in who should get a booster and when. The CDC director will then formally sign off on what the panel recommends. So we'll see what happens with that, and we'll just see. Now, this is back in the news as well. Lions and tigers. What? Are they testing positive? We'll talk about that next here on The Morning Show right after these messages. Stay tuned.
Oh, man, you draw me in like that.
What? You were wondering?
Yeah. Lions and tigers and bears. Oh, my.
I know. Yeah, I went. Where did I go? Hold on. Oh, I should talk about tomorrow's event.
What's tomorrow?
Saturday. But it's an event for the Jewels of Youth, which is great for special needs. Parents or adults with special needs, family members. It's going to be live streamed on my page. Actually, let me talk about that right now. So tomorrow, if you or someone you know has somebody in your family that is special needs, there will be a link for Spanish speaking, I believe. Hopefully we'll get that set up by today. And or English for you and or your friends to be able to disseminate certain information about special needs programs and or things to help families of special needs, friends or family. So that's going to happen. The name of the organization is Jewels of Youth. We've had them on the show before, or Joy. It's Jewels of Youth. .blogspot.com, and you can see the invitation there. If you're in Santa Monica, it's going to be happening tomorrow. If you're not in Santa Monica, but you still want to participate and kind of spread the news, we would love to have you with us. Those that, well, I'll just say it right here. It says, Joy or the Jewels of Youth Foundation brings children, families, healthcare providers, and community leaders to promote comprehensive understanding through education, parent workshops, support groups, and therapeutic services for children with special needs and learning differences. They invite all parents to attend workshops and learn more about educational supports, early intervention, navigating the IEP process. Very important, the IEP process. If you don't know about it, you need to learn about it, especially if your child needs it in their school. College opportunities and therapeutic services and much more. So there's going to be some good information being shared tomorrow, and it will be simulcast in Spanish. So we're looking forward to that.
30 seconds.
Thanks. And because my sister has special needs, this is a very important organization for me to share with the majority of you. And I think it'll be very educational. And a lot of parents don't have this information very readily available. So
5 seconds. Here we go.
Welcome back. This is the morning show here on ABC News Radio KMET 1490 AM. Yes, tigers and lions. What? They're back in the news, unfortunately. Last weekend, 6 lions and 3 tigers at the Smithsonian's National Zoo have tested presumptive positive for the virus that causes COVID-19. How the heck did lions and tigers get this, Jesse? I want to know. They're not wearing face masks. What's going on?
Well, obviously it's from one of their trainers or caretakers. I don't want to believe that someone broke into there and started making out with tigers and lions.
Oh God, Jesse, did you just go there?
Yeah, I went there. What the hell else are they supposed to
That
get?
lion and tiger, first of all, is never going to allow that. They would maul you to death. So that's just
Someone, no,
where's your
I
head?
know someone got up close and like, hey, kitty.
The way you think. All
I
right,
don't know. Coming up with stupid. You never know if people are dumb. I
It-
don't know.
I'll give you that. Last week, the animals were observed to be coughing, sneezing, fatigued, and showing decreased appetites, the zoo said. No other animals are showing symptoms. The zoo, obviously, on top of this, said this: given the substantial distance between the animals and visitors, the public is not at risk. The zoo has conducted a thorough investigation of all staff that were in close proximity to the lions and tigers. Back to that. There is no evidence to pinpoint the source of the infection. The animals are being treated with antibiotics for presumptive secondary bacterial pneumonia, as well as anti-inflammatories and anti-nausea medication. A vaccine made specifically for zoo animals is expected to be available in the coming months, according to the zoo. Again, this is one of those things that people forget. Again, animals can get this as well. So if you yourself get it, they can get it as well, and they can transmit it back to you as well. So you got to be careful with everybody, and then you just got to remember to keep everybody safe. So there you go. Kentucky School District, they canceled all classes due to increase in cases, and this is going to happen across the board in the coming months, guaranteed. Newport Independent Schools in Kentucky have canceled all classes on Friday due to an increase in the number of sick or quarantined students, according to what the district has said. Classes will be virtual on Monday and Tuesday. The district said it plans to return to in-person learning on Wednesday. So it looks like they're seeing such a huge spike there. They're just not going to be okay with putting everybody in harm's way. So that's probably the best thing to do at this point in time, and we'll see what happens. Stephanie Reed, social media, says, I know we don't have much COVID in this small town where I am out of Perry of Lake County. I heard the other day that a deer got COVID because, yeah, that actually happens with this. That's also how certain viruses mutate, by the way, because it goes between humans and other mammals. So that's, I don't know about fish, though. I don't know if fish get this, but so far it's been other mammals. I don't know if they've actually determined if it's non-mammals or not. Have you heard anything about that, Jesse?
No, as far as I heard, it's all just mammals. Oh God, I don't even want to think about it starting mutating to insects and stuff. That'll be the worst thing ever.
Well, that's called West Nile virus, right? Which actually, I don't know that it mutates, but it gets retransmitted
Right?
through mosquitoes, right?
Yeah, like just think about like a whole horde of mosquitoes just giving everybody COVID.
Yeah, yeah. So, terrible, 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 terrible. And I think it's more of a respiratory thing than not. But imagine little bug. Wear a face mask. What's wrong with you? All right, we're gonna take a quick break here. What? Some people feel that way. We'll be back with more right after these messages. Poor little mosquito.
I know. You never know. I'll be like, if I don't come up with these situations, who will?
Yeah, seriously. Florida surpassed 50,000 COVID deaths after battling the Delta wave. You see, it's Texas and Florida. I told you. All right, well, let's talk about something fun. I'm tired of COVID news.
That's pretty much what the news is now.
I know.
Oh no, why did this pop up on my news feed? I'm gonna go past this one.
Wait, what are you saying?
What happened?
I didn't get what you were saying.
Oh no, I was going through my news feed and this headline just saw like health officials raise alarm about a mosquito-borne virus causing paralysis and death in at least 6 states. I'm like, I don't want to read that now.
Oh, good. Hey, did you
I
hear? Oh, go
what?
ahead. What do you say?
No, I say we just go from one natural disaster to the next.
I know, right? Stephanie says, I'm allergic to insects, mosquitoes, bees, and fire ants. That's why I will never leave to Florida because Florida is all about the mosquitoes and insects. Okay, that's funny. Oops, leave.
She's not wrong.
Yeah.
I got attacked by a bunch of mosquitoes while I was there. 10 seconds. Just a giant Slurpee to them. Here we go.
Oh, God. Welcome back. Yes, it is the morning show here on ABC News Radio, KMET, 1490 AM. We appreciate each and every one of you for spending time with us. Question of the day. Will you get the new iPhone 13? A lot of questions about it. I know some people have said that they're looking forward to getting it. I know my mom hinted about it yesterday. And you know if your mom hints about it, she probably wants it, right? Which I think she needs it because she doesn't have enough storage on her other iPhone. And I'm getting tired of deleting things to get the storage to where it's got to be. Because that's no fun, right? If you're up to storage and you're having to delete stuff, that's never good. I lost my iPhone. I'm not happy about it. I don't think anybody is when they lose a major phone like that. But I will say this: protect it with your life. But then I say, is it worth getting the new iPhone 13? Jesse, which phone do you have?
I have just like the base model, the iPhone SE, the second generation.
Okay, all right.
I just wanted to dip my toes into the iPhone little waters there. But yeah, I didn't even realize the 13 was released, or was it just information about it being released?
Well, good question on that. Here is what I'm getting. Pre-orders for the iPhone 13, iPhone 13 mini, iPhone 13 Pro, and iPhone 13 Pro Max started as of today. And while the largest of the pack starts at about $1,000, which is kind of normal for said devices, some people may get the new phone at a fraction of the cost thanks to carriers sometimes complicated trade-in offers to slash hundreds of dollars off the price. You can even get a new iPhone for as little as $0 with an AT&T trade-in deal. However, you can expect shipping delays into October if you're buying the iPhone 13 Pro or Pro Max, which I'm going to tell you right now, I recommend at least the Pro Max. It's pretty amazing from what I've heard. Having said that, some people try to go for, the lesser of the options, which are usually pretty easy. The iPhone 13, iPhone 13 mini come in Starlight, Midnight Blue, Pink, and Product Red. I'm not going to lie, Product Red looks amazing. The iPhone 13 Pro and iPhone 13 Pro Max come in Sierra Blue, Silver, Graphite, and Gold. Of course, the models do change with what they have. Apple has up to $709 off with eligible trade-in. You could trade in an eligible device to get the new iPhone, depending on which one you have, and then you get kind of a credit towards it. Other phones like the Samsung Galaxy S8, Google Pixel 3, and LG G8 Thin Q are eligible for trade-ins, but sometimes some people want to trade in their older model iPhone for a newer model, and that usually makes sense. I just say make sure to back it up, get all your stuff on it, off of it ahead of time if you can, and make sure they do it right at the store because I've had them do it before and I lose everything, so I'm not happy about that. Best Buy has up to $1,000 off select iPhone 13 models you can save up to $1,000 and up to $720 off with a qualifying trade-in. It's only applicable when trading in an iPhone 12 Pro or iPhone 12 Pro Max from AT&T. So there is a catch for certain people that are pre-ordering the iPhone 13. Customers can only get $720 off the iPhone 13 if they trade in an iPhone 12. It's one of those good ones where you get to keep upgrading. Spectrum Mobile will be carrying the iPhone 13 lineup, and the new iPad and iPad Mini customers can pre-order starting this Friday, which is, well, today. The new devices will be available starting September 24th. And T-Mobile has up to $800 off the iPhone 12 or iPhone 13. Verizon has up to $1,000 off with an eligible trade-in. And if you are going from one carrier to another, they'll cover up to $500 for new customers to switch, and the two offers can be combined. Another company called Visible, you can get a HomePod Mini and $200 gift card, but you gotta go check that stuff out. But the iPhone 13 Pro Max, if you haven't heard anything about it, it's pretty cool. And the camera system as well is pretty amazing as well, which is the only thing that I honestly usually like iPhones for, is that they themselves are pretty cool when it comes to the screen and, of course, the camera system. They're always ahead in the camera system. They just know. It's just something about Apple that knows cameras. I have a Galaxy Note, and as much as I thought I would like it, I like it less and less and less every single day. It's just the screen is amazing, but it's just not what I used to like with an iPhone. So I go back and forth, but I'm okay with it. But I know my mom should definitely get a better one, and there you go. So if you yourself are wanting an iPhone Pro, let us know in social media, and let us know if you're going to get it, and if you're not, why you think you're going to hold off on it. I think it's one of the better ones to go for now, especially if you've been waiting for quite some time. If you have the iPhone 12, I'm not sure if it's a good upgrade, but there's still people talking about it. So is it? Is it not? Is it? I don't really know yet, but I'll tell you, the camera system is way far better than most camera systems, even on like normal cameras, and you have it all on your phone. So there you go. All right, we're going to take a quick little break here on the morning show. We'll be back with more right after these messages. Stay tuned.
Yeah, if only they accepted blood donations.
Blood donation?
Yeah, because it's so high, so much money. Like, yeah,
Yeah,
do you give a chance if I give blood?
I hear that. Well, it's all like in the payment plan, which is where I wish they would do other things that are pretty cool, like VR devices. Oh, let me bring up what I said I was going to bring up. Let's see if I can bring it up. Whoops, wrong one. No. Doobie doobie doo. Where are you? Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Did you ever watch Scooby Doo? Scooby Doo, where are you?
Of course.
I'm over here. Let's see.
Scooby, Scooby Doo. Do do do. Do 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 do.
Here's the information for those wondering. I'll just bring this up really quick. The Jewels of Youth Parents Unite for Special Education My Kid 2 is going to happen in Santa Monica. There's the information. If you want it, I'll share it for you and others to be able to get the information. The organization is a nonprofit organization, Jewels of Youth Foundation, which is involved with the Santa Monica Unified School District as well as with other faith-based organizations as well. And all the information is free and available for anyone and everyone to understand how to help your friends and or family and or children with special needs, whether it be autism, Down syndrome, or any other special needs.
20 seconds, and the coach is ready to go.
Got it. Thank you. Oh, they're doing good. 4-0, huh? Record. Wow. Rosie says she wasn't happy with the storage. She
Here we
took
go.
a lot of pictures of video. That's right. It's the morning show here on ABC News Radio, KMET 1490 AM. I'm Aaron Michael Sanchez. It's that time. Beaumont football. Boy, oh boy, was it a game last week. 4-0 is almost unheard of at this time, but I'm telling you, the guy that could probably pull it off with the great team that he's been able to help foster along the way, Coach Jeff Steinberg. Good morning. Welcome to the show, Coach.
Morning. How you guys doing?
Good, doing good. You're kind of doing good on a high right there, huh?
Yeah. We, kids played a great game last week against rival school, and did really well. And now it's just time to move on to this week.
Well, and we talked about it last week. For those that were not able to tune in but wondered what happened from last week, we were talking about the bragging rights, and obviously the trophy you guys get to keep. How cool was that, and who was most happy to be able to kind of just touch that and kind of have that moment of just fun?
Every kid, every coach, every teacher, every administrator, everybody who lives in the community. There's deep ties in both communities, and it still means something, and that's really cool to see in this day and age. Parents taking pictures with the wheel, kids, alumni, coaches, administrators. It was really neat to see.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. Now, tonight's game, going up against San Jacinto, how when you guys go in against certain ones, do you ever keep certain things in mind?
Like what?
Like what? I mean, their strengths and their weaknesses, and in order how to compensate.
Always. We are always looking for information that we can pull out of film. We also look back a few years at things they've done. We didn't play them during COVID, so it's kind of like we feel like we haven't seen them in a long, long time. So we only, we dove into film from this year, and we went back to other years as well.
Well, I understand you guys have been able to kind of, find more fun with the rest of the team, especially in the last game. You were able to play some of the other players as well. How great is it to kind of test the broad stroke of players? Because sometimes you use your most seasoned kids, and then you use the others.
Sure.
Were they having fun as well?
Yeah, it's great to be able to evaluate some of your guys that are, I guess, waiting in the wings or support players. It's great to be able to evaluate them in games and also get them the experience that you're going to need down the stretch, because things happen during the year. So at some point, somebody's going to have to step in and hopefully thrive.
Well, and let's talk about that. The two schools are rivals, but they're in different leagues right now. The Tigers are a solid program. How does playing good teams get you kind of ready for league play?
This is so big for us to be able to finish off our non-league schedule with what we feel is going to be our toughest opponent so far this year. And it's going to just give us an indication of where we're at going into league, and, what are our strengths and what's been exposed and what do we need to work on.
Yeah. Well, and I think next Friday, kind of nice. You guys get some extra time off. What do you usually do with the downtime with the kids? Do you go at each other and kind of practice drills, or do you let them rest?
Good stuff. You see all the good stuff on social media. What we don't show is the stuff that the blood, sweat, and tears. And we're gonna get to work. They're gonna get a little bit of a rest, but we've got some work and things we got to clean up, and that list won't be complete until after this game of exactly what we need to work on. But there's work to be done.
Well, speaking of work to be done, I know you love to congratulate your team as well for working as a team. Any special shout outs on ones that have like really come full circle and kind of pushed themselves to that limit that they didn't know they could see themselves in?
To Ethan Ramirez, junior offensive lineman, plays guard for us. He had an incredible game last week against the school down the freeway, and he was our El Nasty Trench Warrior of the week. And a lot of times, especially the offensive line, they just don't get enough credit. And for us to be able to win games and play well, you got to give a lot of. I guess you got to put a lot of it on the offensive line. So a lot of credit there.
Well, I want to say thank you very much for giving us a sneak peek. I know KMET is the home for live Beaumont High School football broadcast tonight. Mitch McClellan and Brett Malik join them tonight at 6:45 p.m. on the radio, online at KMET1490am.com. And, of course, download the app. It's free on the iPhone and Android apps. Before we let you go, I always like to kind of learn something from you because you always have kind of that pearls of wisdom that you can apply to life. And I will say, with coronavirus, with kind of a season where we have to kind of be more careful than not, is there anything that you tell your teammates and their families to do to keep their kind of positive spirits up no matter what? Because I know winning a game is great, but of course everybody's got to go home and then face schoolwork and other things and then keep it all balanced at the same time.
So I think there's some things that you need on a daily basis, and this probably was best put by Jim Valvano, who was a basketball coach. Obviously, they named the ESPYs after him. They named an award after him. But he says that every day a person should be in deep thought. So reading, doing some sort of, I guess even your homework. You're in deep thought when you do your homework. But something that's going to just make you think. Political arguments, and I say arguments, not fights. So deep thought. The second thing that you need every day is a good belly laugh. And I'm really fortunate that I've got a great group of friends that we laugh daily. And that's kind of, they say, a key to staying live and young. And then the third thing is something that's going to move your emotions daily. And I think when you have those three things on a daily basis, you've had a great day. So those are things that I know personally I look forward to every day. I love the laughter part. And I talk to our kids about it too. Like, you can't go through a whole day of taking everything too serious. You need those other things as well.
Yeah, I couldn't have said it better. Thank you for that perspective. It's kind of one of those that we need to be reminded, as adults, as young ones, as family members, and then some. Thank you so very much, Coach, and keep rocking it. I'm looking forward maybe to seeing a 5-0 the next time we speak.
Well, we'll see. We just want to be 1-0 after this week.
I like what you say. All right, buddy. We'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Okay, so there you go. Again, download the app. It's free. KMET 1490 AM. It's where it's at. You can also check out terrestrial radio. Listen in. We're at 98.1 FM and 1490 AM as well on the radio dial. Or just download the app and you can get it. Just make sure you have good streaming ability with your mobile carrier. Okay, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back with more right after these messages. Stay tuned.
And it's a quick break.
Nah, he's always got pearls of wisdom.
Yeah, it was a good game last week.
Well, 58-0. I didn't want to make the other one feel bad.
Yeah, I didn't.
Like,
They dominated on. That's what I was like.
I didn't want to call that out. I saw that and I'm like, 58-0. What happened to the other team? But then I know they're in our listening audience, so I was like, I didn't want to make that's a hard game to play, to be the 0 guys. That's no fun.
Right? It's like after 30-something points, I would have been like, dude, we lost. Can we just give up?
Yeah, if they were not like high schoolers, I would have gone at it pretty heavy, but I just could not call that out. I was like, oh my God, 58-0. Oh my God, I feel bad for the families. And just the kids, because you just like what would you tell the other team if that was your team, right?
Right? They just played better. They
Yeah,
just played. That's all I can say. They just played better. They wanted it more.
yeah,
But good job in those kids. Wow.
yeah.
10 seconds. Here we go.
Actually, Beljanski formulas.
Welcome back. Yes, it is the morning show here on ABC News Radio KMET 1490 AM, and however you're tuning in, we appreciate you. Evidently, drones are being used for dropping drugs into said courtyards of jails, which I don't know that that's a new thing. I'm pretty sure that's probably an old thing. Somebody just finally figured it out. A bizarre delivery happened inside an Orange County jail courtyard when drugs were dropped off by a drone. Chase Smart, who's 41, controlled the drone from outside the jail Sunday. According to Sergeant Ryan Anderson of the Orange County Sheriff's Department, said there was meth, heroin, Xanax. I can understand the Xanax, right? You want to be kind of like chilled. And other prescription medications attached to the drone. The drone sat undetected until Tuesday when an inmate worker found it on the ground. Detectives said the suspect's acquaintance, Megan Donovan. I see ya, Megan. Needing some of that Xanax. 30 serving time in the jail for a similar crime. He used a recorded jail phone to orchestrate the drop-off. They arrested Smart inside a Costa Mesa apartment he rented under a stolen identity. Detectives added. Inside investigators said they found assault weapons, drugs, and drug paraphernalia. Jesse, what's going on here? This is like...
Wow. I really hope she kept some of the Xanax for herself because when she goes to jail or wow. Yeah, I was just looking at that news story a little while ago and then you brought it up.
Yeah, I mean, I almost didn't want to, but I'm like, well, I mean, drones can be used for all kinds of things. I think delivery is a good idea, just not necessarily said pills in a jail. But
Yeah.
there you go. I'm sure it's not the first time, and it definitely won't be the last, right?
No, actually, I thought about that like quite a bit. I'm like, I'm surprised they don't use drones to like ferry over drugs or something over the wall.
Yeah. See, that's the way your mind is. I tell you, in a past life, you probably just were like wondering how to get escaped convicts out or something. I know my
Right?
mom thinks like that. She watches Prison Break, and you gotta wonder, a woman who watches Prison Break regularly, trust me, she knows how to break out of jail. Right? Have you ever seen that like full like
No,
seasons?
yeah, I've seen a couple of them. I fear the women who watch those murder channels.
That's true.
I'm
Yeah,
like, gonna
yeah.
get him. I'm like, what
My
the heck?
mom's not that bad. She watches like Columbo, but like how to catch a murderer. You know what I mean? I like those, but not the ones where they figure out how to kill somebody. Those aren't fun. So, but she doesn't look at it like that. I think she just likes the people, and I got to remind her to get it because Prison Break is a good show. I don't know if they're going with season 6. I think they should. But there you go. She wasn't happy with season 5, and for those of you that have seen it, you know why. It just was not the way seasons 1 through 4 were. But boy, does she enjoy all the characters in that, including some of the strangest characters. And sometimes I go, why do you like that? But then I understand why. They're funny, and the way they just kind of play the roles, they're really good. And I can't remember the name of the one that she really likes, but he's like the worst one. I think he loses his hand, or he chops it off in order to escape, or something like that. But he's a good actor. I've seen him in other things. He was in Heroes, and I loved Heroes. I wish they would bring back Heroes again because Heroes was done well. Did you ever watch that, Jesse?
Oh yes, I loved Heroes. They kind of messed it up during the writers' strike back in the days.
Yeah.
It totally rearranged the story, and so they had to like make some stuff up and just roll with it. But overall, the premise of Heroes, I enjoyed it.
Yeah. So speaking of things to enjoy, Shang-Chi is out. See that while you can. Jesse does recommend it, right, Jesse?
Oh yeah. That movie was a shock. I really was not expecting too much from that movie, but it was fun. It had a lot of action, and I'm not a big fan of Aquafina's humor, but I loved her in this movie.
Aquafina.
Yeah, that's a rapper, Asian
Oh,
rapper.
oh, oh. I was like,
Yeah, it's not a water bottle. I
yeah,
thought
because
that.
I only drink water bottle Aquafina. Now I feel kind of weird for drinking it. It's kind of weird now.
Yeah, I thought that. I was just like, why do they have a water bottle in this movie? And then I'm like, no, it's spelled differently. I was like, oh, okay, I gotcha.
Got it. Okay, yeah, because I was looking at my water right now. I'm like, I drink Aquafina pretty regularly. Should I not? Did anybody tell Aquafina? But yeah, okay. So, and good things to watch, by the way, are on Netflix. I will say, I think it was Rosalie who suggested, or some one of our. I'm getting caught up slowly and surely on Manifest, and I still haven't passed season one. My mom and I are watching that very good show, by the way, on Netflix, and I can't wait to get to season two as well. Speaking of which, tomorrow, if you are around and or just not doing anything, I do recommend that you check out this, which I will be at tomorrow. The Jewels of Youth Foundation by founder and creator Lupe Ibarra has Parents United for Special Education, My Kid Too. This is great information for family members and those that want the information, especially if you have special needs kids and or family members that need some products and or services, especially if you know about the IEP and or how to request an IEP and how to get support for your kids in certain school districts, because some are not very with it to be able to help you, and there's certain legal services that you can avail yourself of and other things that you need to know going in as a parent with either a child with autism or on the spectrum, any other said disability. It's important to know and have this information. We're going to be at a conference tomorrow. I'll be hosting that, as well as we'll be broadcasting as well on all my channels. So make sure to like, favorite, and of course get the information spread out there. All right, people, I'm out of time. I'm Aaron Michael Sanchez. That's Jesse over there. Say goodbye. Goodbye, everyone. Make it a great day.
Goodbye, everyone.